go and have a quick look around the homestead. See what's here. There's a lot of old stuff around, a lot of history, bit of a museum. A lot of the old stuff that they've got here from back in the 1800s. Massive big old bottle tree. This was the original Cecil Plains jail. All the police officers that served. And there's a couple of criminals in here. Ah, what are you in for?
Murder. I'm in to get in the shade.
Yeah.
Right, if you come out here and forgot a razor, you come up here and
Yeah.
grab one of these. That's probably how police escort when they brought this out.
Imagine being locked in here with just a bed. She was saying had a toilet and a sink and everything, which is pretty modern. Let me out! I didn't do it! What's for lunch?
Stand back a little bit here, you won't be able to see.
Let me out! Back how they used to build sheds. Just timber slabs.
You need to have good splitting trees for there, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Right. Cypress pine, old pitch roof. Yeah. Even the old outhouse. Old hay cutter, I think it is. Old Fergie tractor. Another slab hut.
They keep me on my toes anyway.
Lots of history. The old shearing sheds.
They come up from Brisbane, of course, and they come through on their lunch stop, and they end up at Gundy. And where they go after Gundy, I thought they went north. They stayed with them.
I think this is the old carpenter's hut. Another slab hut. Carpenter's workshop. That might be the original there. Look at that. Big, thick timber slabs. That's huge. And there's the outhouse out the back. Is there anybody in here? Hello?
Hello?
It's like the old classroom in here. Well, best we go in and have a look from the inside. Old cream cans. Look at that. much history. It is like a museum. Yeah. There's the old air rifle up the top. It's not an air rifle though. Oh yeah, it is a fireplace. Well, where the old wood stove is, so this would have been the kitchen. Back in the day. No fly screens on the windows to keep the flies out. Imagine being in here slaving over the hot stove, cooking. Imagine in winter time when it's down around 0 degrees, it'd be alright, but the middle of summer when it's 40 degrees, you wouldn't want to be standing over the stove. So that must have been the living room. G'day pup, you're right in here. And this would have been the bedroom. Look at that, eh? Wow. That's how people used to live. Look at the old cameras. You look at the technology we have these days with GoPros and all your flash technology and all these other cameras. That's what we used to have back in the day. And this has been like the veranda, I suppose, built in. That's how they used to go to school. Well, benches. Pretty sure they lift up. Yep, the old school books in there. Blackboard. Where's the cane? There's no cane if you're naughty. It's a little bit dark in here. I don't know how much you'll see, but back in the day you wouldn't have had fluoro lights and everything. There would have been the old Caro lanterns, I'd imagine. And this might have been the bathroom down the end here. Dare say, the old wash tubs. Yep. No such thing as hot and cold running water. And then you would have went out the back door out to the toilet. Yep. Out to the toilet for number 2. Yeah. So good. It's good to see all the old history. Just makes you feel privileged to how we actually live in this day and age, especially with our modern caravans and inverters and battery power and solar and everything else. And you look at how they used to live in something like this. Unreal. Just makes you really appreciate the day and age that we do live in. What's for lunch today, dear?
Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. Didn't we have that yesterday and last week?
Pour a cup of tea and hot water out the kettle.
Well, I'll have a coffee, thanks. White with 2. It would have been hard yards. Bit of a camp kitchen down here near the river where the campsites are. You can camp up the top here as well. And there's another level down the bottom. Some of them aren't overly level. But you probably get a good half a dozen decent sites in there, and then all that area up the top. looking down towards us. Probably what, 200 metres of river frontage to the old rail bridge. Camp Kitchen's got this old wood stove. That, she still goes. Could light a fire in there. It doesn't look like it's been used for a while in the oven. Bit of shade if you didn't have gazebos and stuff with you. There's a bit of water around the place, maybe. Yep. Probably not drinking water. There's a water tank there, but pay to bring your own drinking water anyway. There you go, CECEIL Plains Homestead. Hey, one thing we're going to try our hand at is a bit of prospecting. Looking for a bit of gold. This is a hobby. I'm not planning on getting rich out of it, but it would be nice if we could make a living out of it and live on the road full time. But yeah, we've got this Minelab metal detector that Santa bought us for Christmas. We've just been playing with it over Christmas, over our break a few times. But it seems to work great. What? What?
I've got something.
What have you got?
Big.
What? What is it?
Look.
Oh, what? Oh, oh! You found gold. Found gold already. Well done, baby. If only we could find a nugget that big, we would be laughing. But that's us. We're going to play around with this for a while and get out to the gold fields west of Warwick, and a bit of fun. Something we can both do, and yeah, learn the art of it, and then maybe get a bit more serious in the years to come. The fire's roaring, getting plenty of coals in there. Camp oven's preheating. Second little fire on the side. That's how sometimes, if you don't have a lot of wood or the right wood, to preheat your hole in the ground where you're going to sit your camp oven. I could sit it on the grill's fire pit, but the wind blowing this afternoon will preheat a bit of ground there, preheat the oven, and then we'll go and prepare the chicken over here. Oh, look out! Brownie, Goldie, they're into the chook. Mandy,
You two, cut it out.
your dogs are into the chicken.
Lucky we scrapped up.
So that there, the little fire we had there, just forms enough coals to then sit your camp oven on and preheat the base of your oven. Without it being too hot, sit that on there. That'll get everything nice and hot while the main fire's burning down to get some nice coals. That'll be nice and hot in the bottom. Put the chook on in about 10 minutes. Righto, chook is going in the oven. So the fire's burnt down quite nice. We'll see if this is preheated. Oh yep, that's perfecto. Now you don't want to sit your camp oven lid in the dirt, so I always just set it up on a block of wood. And we'll get the chook in there, make sure the little black thing on the back or the absorbent thing's not stuck to him when you put it in. that's already oiled up from before. The rubbish will go in the bin. I'll stick a bit of oil on him. A little bit like that. And just rub it all over him. There, he crisps it up, or browns up nice on top. And then a bit of salt and pepper all over him. I think last time I used a few other herbs and spices and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it this time. He's just a basic roast chicken. And there you go, that's it. And we'll stick the lid back on. Ooh. Greasy hands from the oil. Now that's not hot enough to cook on, so you might want to just stand back a little bit, Mandy, in case hot coals go everywhere. There's a little bit of heat there, but the ground's already preheated. We'll chuck your burning bits of wood off to one side. You don't want to use them. It is very hot in there. That's the stuff we want. See that? That's nice. I reckon probably 2 of those little shovelfuls on the bottom will be plenty. Just like that. You don't want it too hot, but you want it hot enough, because that chook has just come out of the fridge half an hour ago, so that's going to absorb a bit of your heat. And then some heat on top. The top's easy enough to top up if you need a bit more later on, but you don't want to keep disturbing it and lifting the lid off and checking it, so we'll just leave it at that for the time being. And then make sure your fire's still going, because you might need a few more coals, so a few more blocks of wood on there. It should be right. Okay, it's been about an hour and 20 minutes, I think. Fair bit of wind this afternoon, which might have been affecting the heat, so we'll just quickly check this and see how we're looking. Oh, is that perfection or what? Oh yeah, looks very moist and juicy. I think
than an oyster.
I think we're going to be having a hot rooster roll tonight. So, early the next morning, it was time to go for a paddle up to the bridge, the old train bridge there, throw some lures around, see if we can't attract that elusive yellow belly or even a cod. But fingers crossed. You got to be in the water with your lure floating around to catch them. You're not going to catch them lazing around in bed, so it was an early start, just after daylight. Beautiful paddle up the river, so calm, just the birds chirping, just nature at its best. Nobody else around, not a soul. So got up to the bridge, throwing lures around for probably an hour and a half. Casting, casting, casting some more, and not one fish. So I don't know what the trick is to catching the yellow belly. If I'm using the wrong lures, so I tried a couple of different colours, different sizes, fishing a lot lighter, very light line, but nothing seemed to make a difference. I just cannot catch a yellow belly on a lure. But even while we were there, I couldn't even catch one on a shrimp. The shrimp's bobbing around as well back in front of camp, and nothing, not one yellow belly. So must have been something in the water with the fresh or whatever. They just were not biting. But it's just so serene sitting out there on the river. Not another soul around. The peace and quiet. Just getting back to nature. Then after a little while, Mandy and Dad wanted to go for a paddle up the river, so off we went. But I got a little bit sidetracked, seen a couple of locals at the boat ramp just coming back in from fishing, so I thought I'll go on and ask them. Yep, got all that information in my head. Third bend up the river, they reckon, which is about a 2 or 3k paddle. So I wasn't that energetic, and I didn't need to catch a fish that bad. So I didn't worry about paddling up to the third bend in the river, but apparently that's where they catch them. But just nice being out there, floating around on the water. It was a little bit breezy that day, so with the river still flowing, it was an easy paddle back down the river. Bit of wind, a few ripples on the water, but just magic being there. Looking back at this bridge and all those pylons in the water as we went back under there, you would think there's got to be a fish hiding in underneath there somewhere, but I can't catch them. They're probably hiding there, but I cannot catch them. So here we go, the race is on, and Mandy's in the lead again. That was a bit of fun. We're both so competitive and we both like to win. We always seem to end up having a race or some sort of competition while we're out and about on our adventures. So with the river slowly dropping, there wasn't much water running over the top of the weir by this stage, so just nosed up to it with the kayak. Never going to go over the top. It's only running about an inch, half an inch over. You can see how dry it is down below where we were catching all those carp. Now it's nearly stopped running. But it was interesting just to have a look there and see what we could see floating around. That was the end of the kayak tour for the day. It was starting to warm up. So the next best thing to do when it's temperatures up in the 40s is to grab a beer, go for a swim in the mighty CONDAMINE. That's living. The mighty CONDAMINE River. So after sussing it out in the kayak and making sure it was safe to paddle over there, and just floated around on the edge here for half an hour or so with no current, fairly safe. Every day you get an infinity pool like this. In no way would I recommend ever swimming around a weir, either above or below, but with not much water flow, it was fairly safe. This is living. So relaxing, just sitting there having a beer, hanging onto the wall, looking at the scenery. Life is good. Unfortunately, it's the last afternoon of fishing here at CECEIL Plains Weir. Action's pretty quiet after we've caught quite a few in the last 5 days we've been here and the water's stopped running. But we're still getting a few. Size is nowhere near as big as what we have been getting. Although Dad just got a decent one over there, 4-pounder. There we go. And a stick.
Not that big, but
Yeah.
he's scoffed it down on me too, aren't I? Can get the,
Yeah.
get the fly.
Righto.
Settler one.
That's alright.
You want to grab him?
Hang on, I'll get him in the net because light line. Just let him float in the water. Oh, there you go, that's one. So the last couple of hours, the river's actually stopped running. When we first got here 3 or 4 days ago, that was running about probably 4 or 5 inches over the top. As I said, it stopped running. A little bit of a dribble there again now, just trickling over the wall. But because it's dried up, means This little section of the weir is just full of big carp. But at the moment they're not biting. But they're still out there where we have been catching them. And no doubt we'll get a few more. What have you got to say for yourself, Mr. Carp? Oh, he rolled himself over. Look at that. That's probably about 5 pound European carp. One less in the waterways. What's that? You want to go back in the waterway? I don't think so. And he just come out of that little drain in there, at the bottom of the wall. So when you're fishing for carp, I tend to watch the line more than anything. You'll see the line pull tight, go slack. Sometimes they'll grab it and take off, but most of the time they'll just suck on that corn a bit, pull the line tight, and you just lift the rod up, take the weight, like that. Oh, and I was too slow because I'm holding the camera. Let's try that again. Just a little bit of slack line, you don't want a huge sinker on there, and I'll run through the rig a bit later, show you exactly how to rig up for them. Basic rig that we're using, nice light gear, about a 3-4 kilo rod, little 2000 size reel, 4 kilo line. If you can see that there, just your normal basic everyday rig, about a #1 sinker, I think it is, small swivel down to a bit of 10 pound leader, short trace, it doesn't really matter, down to a 1/0 circle hook. Put 2-3 corn kernels on there, and that one's a bit bent from another fish I just caught before, but that's it. That's the rig, that's all you need. You can buy any cheap Kmart rod, doesn't have to be top of the range, hundreds of dollars to catch carp. You can come out here and have fun doing this for probably about $100. And all you need for bait is your corn, of course. Bit of sweet corn. There we go, I'm going to bait her up and chuck her in and go again. Yeah, fishy, 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 fishy. Come to the top. And just like that.
Decent size still.
That's one less in the CONDAMINE River. Well done, babe. Fly fishy.
Sucked it right down.
It was getting late in the afternoon, the fishing was getting fairly slow. So just getting the odd one, even close up to the edges. And then I looked around, Mandy's on to a big one. Get the net, Brad! And he did not want to give up. Out of that drain, landlocked at the bottom of the wall at the weir. He did not want to give up. He must have been the last fish in there, this fella. He wouldn't play the game. But eventually, it got him in the net. Mandy's biggest fish and the second biggest fish of the whole trip. It was a ripper. Biggest carp to date, personal best. Awesome fun catching them, especially once they get to that size. They do put up a great fight. We had to put this fella on the scales. Once he sat still, he was just under 6 pound, 5.8 something pound. Awesome fishing, babe. After deciding that we'd nearly got them all, I thought I'm going to go in and make sure we've got them. Bit of fun late in the afternoon, drag the landing net all through this little landlocked area and not one other fish come out of there. I think we've done our bit for cleaning out the CONDAMINE at Cecil Plains in the way of carp. Definitely no more left in here, and we're flat out getting a bite in the main river section, so I think we've got them. This time around they'll still be in there. Until next time, we'll be back. Well guys, unfortunately that brings us to the end of another episode of our part 4. Tripping and adventuring on the CONDAMINE River. This trip, we only got as far as Cecil Plains because it turned out to be such a good spot. We ended up staying here for 5 days. We didn't move on, just right on the weir. With it running, it doesn't run all the time, so while it's running it's very special, so you've got to make the most of those times. And the fishing, while it's running like that with the carp fishing, we probably caught 100 odd carp out of the river. A couple of big ones there, 5 and 6 pound, but 100 odd fish, 100 odd carp less in the river, affecting all those native fish, that type of thing, affecting the waterways, the clarity of the water, that type of thing. So 100 of them less in the water is much better off for our waterways. So, but just admiring how beautiful this place is. In the afternoons, the western sunset and the mighty CONDAMINE River. The serenity, the birds. Living it up off grid. Hey Mandy. Just cannot say how good this is. Fire crackling, especially out here with a bit of cypress, you can hear it crackling, and the smell. And the weather wise in this trip has been very special. I think Mum's been up there after we lost her recently. I think she's looked out for us. No hailstorms, no decent wet weather events, and mostly dry for our trip and our adventure this trip. So thank you to Mum. You'll always be remembered for the very special person you were. And I'm sure she would have loved it out here, and it's like she's always with us anyway, looking down on us. So we'll end the video here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you do subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and we'll see you on the next Brandyscape adventure, wherever that takes us, be it the CONDAMINE River, out in the bush, or somewhere up the beach. Thanks for watching.